it's pathetic that the team has been managed and run in a way from an ownership level, a front office level, and an on-field level that one of the best players and the most loyal players in the history of the team, who has said a million times in a million ways, I don't want to go anywhere. I have a no trade clause. I want to spend my entire career in Minnesota. You've now pushed his loyalty to the point that it could and maybe has broken. And that is just so pathetic and frustrating. And like I said, we were talking about it like with the Luka Doncic trade. Like, if you trade Byron Buxton away, 20 years ago from now, Twins fans are still going to remember Byron Buxton, and they're still going to be sad that they didn't see the end of Byron Buxton's career. Derek Falvey in this front office will be long gone, and hopefully the Pohlads will be long gone. Yeah. But the stink of that process will affect forever. It will change. Byron Buxton will not be a career-long Twin, and all that stuff. And it's maddening sometimes to think about that the people in charge of a team in a given moment. I mean, the guy who traded Luka Doncic has already been fired.
Right.
Great. Guess what? The Mavericks don't have Luka Doncic.
Right.
That lasts forever. If you are the person who trades Byron Buxton, and you not only trade Byron Buxton, but you trade Byron Buxton because you broke his loyalty through horrible decision-making, lack of investment in the team from ownership, et cetera, that is a decision that that toothpaste doesn't go back into the tube. And from a fan standpoint, that to me is so frustrating because it's like there's absolutely no reason that Byron Buxton should not finish his career in Minnesota Twins. He's a great player with a very team-friendly contract. He loves Minnesota. He's performing at a high level, et cetera, et cetera. But he's also human. And if, think of whatever job you're in. If everything starts to crumble around you and you lose faith in the upper management and you lose faith with the people who own the company, at some point you go, well, this isn't the only company I can work for. Like, maybe it's better at other companies. And I don't blame Buxton at all if he has reached that point or if he is going to reach that point. But it just sucks.
When I'm glad you used the word crumble, because I was trying to come up with which word, and I still haven't quite found which one it is, but I actually just looked up while you were talking about that. Synonyms for deterioration. Because what you're talking about here is, I mean, frankly, it's a life lesson. If when you built something, when you've created something, if you don't continue to build it, if you just let it sit we've talked a lot about the stasis that this team has been in for the last 2 or 3 years.
You got to keep watering a garden after you've planted.
What you are seeing is the result of trying to maintain the minimum status quo. Right. Is that there is just a level of, let's see, decay, collapse, deterioration, worsening, retrogression, degradation, degeneration, decomposition, putrefaction. These are all good words for what
things I've used to describe my body.
Dilapidation, disintegration, crumbling, corruption.
Yeah. And if you're one of the only sort of structurally sound pieces of that, as all those words happen around you, it only makes sense to be like, why am I still here? Why do I want to experience this? Particularly when you're at the end of your time as a prime all-star player. Right. I mean, he knows he's got 3 years left on his contract. Maybe he keeps playing beyond that, but like he's got a 2 or 3 year window here where he's an all-star center fielder. Yeah. Why do you want to spend it here? And I don't blame him 1 second for that. And I think he's been more loyal to the Twins than they deserve already.
Yes.
But also that doesn't take away from how it would be if this plays out in a way that it seems to be gradually maybe heading towards.
Atrophy might be the word I was looking for, because that is what this feels like. This is we've talked about, this again, I will just lay this squarely at the feet of ownership. I will not even necessarily, I'll let Falvey off the hook on a lot of this, because the bottom line is when you have got no leadership at that upper level, or that leadership at the upper level is such that the marching orders are just keep marching, just keep walking, and we don't necessarily care where we're going.
Yeah. It's like, boss, our uniforms are torn. My shoe fell off 6 miles back there. Just keep marching. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Like, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, at some point, things start. Even the bright points start going. what are we doing?
Well, I mean,
here?
I've said
Right.
I don't
Of
know
course.
why Falvey wants this job
Well,
anymore.
I agree.
Let alone Buxton.
Right.
I mean,
Yes.
Buxton's a completely different story. But like, why do you want to keep marching?
Right.
Like, what? Why?
I mean,
I'm sure the pay is nice. But
the same thing that Twins fans have been feeling, Buxton's feeling. Right.
But I mean, it's just
the same thing that as we go out and we're at a Timberwolves game or a Gopher game, and people come to or the KFAN event like I was this morning, and people want to come up and say, "What's going on with the Twins? Why? What?" This is the natural result of not moving forward.
Right.
You can't help but move backwards.
And I mean, look, we've seen in every market, especially non, premium markets or whatever, you see star players all the time leave. I mean, Kevin Garnett to me is the most upsetting one as a lifelong Wolves fan, obviously. And he went and he won a championship immediately.
Right.
After people by the end were criticizing him for not scoring enough and all that stuff, as if it was his fault that the Minnesota Timberwolves weren't good or good enough to get over the hump.
Right.
But I mean, we've seen it with
that's
star players.
That's always my star example. That's always my prime example of how effed up.
What sets this one
be.
apart, if it does get to that point, and I'm sure they can get decent value for Buxton and all that, but I don't care about that at this moment. But like, what sets this one is no one has ever been more steadfast and public and proud about saying, and by the way, he's from Atlanta, or he's from Baxley, Georgia. It's not like this guy's from Minnetonka or something.
Right, yeah, exactly right.
Of saying, I don't want to go anywhere. I got to trade, no trade because I want to be here with my family. Like, I love it here. Like, that to me adds insult to everything else, where it's like, you got a guy who wants to be here. You have a special player who, by the way, seemingly great dude from everything I've ever interacted with. I've never heard a bad word about him or his family. It's like, this guy wants to be here, which like somehow makes it significantly worse, where it's like, oh no, we pushed this guy so far to the edge that he just was like, I'd rather jump than be here. And who knows if that comes to fruition.
And it's even almost sadder when it's not active. When it's not like, oh, we've worked on demonizing this person.
Right.
Like sometimes things end like with a, we're going after the guy, or we don't like the way he's playing, or just based on conflict.
Well, or
this one is based on apathy,
right? And sometimes you'll see,
it makes it sadder
in a situation like August and September, a star player like Buxton sometimes will say, "This is pathetic. Like, this sucks." Well, then you start to read the writing on the wall. It's like, well, this guy clearly doesn't want to be here. He's talking out about the decision making, which, by the way, is his right, and he would be correct. Joe Ryan went like an inch in that regard, but everyone else was, and even Joe Ryan was a good soldier on that front. Byron Buxton said and did all the right things, but like, that's what you're describing is some situations where it crumbles around a star player. Sometimes they'll stand in front of a microphone and be like, "This sucks. I don't want to be here anymore." That is not what Byron Buxton. Byron Buxton is doing the opposite of that.
And welcome to the end of this video. There's lots more. For another, just click on one of these boxes.
Or click on this circle in the middle to subscribe to all of our Twins Talk.
Thank you. Gleeman